Hi, and welcome to another narration presented by yours truly, Cryptids Roost. Please be so kind as to throat punch the like button and smack the ass of the subscription button as well. And don't forget to share the video far and wide. This will help with YouTube's algorithm and will help promote the channel more. If you would like to support the channel and help make it grow, any and all donations can be made paypal.me/cryptidsroost and will be most gratefully received. If you enjoy listening to the following story, be sure to pop over to the author's Reddit profile and drop them a line, or even give them a glowing review. I'm sure they would appreciate it. The link to their Reddit profile will be below in the description, and don't forget to check out the merch store. The link will be in the description and also in the video thumbnail. And if you would like an honourable mention, send in a snapshot of yourself with your purchase and I'll feature it in one of the videos. And if you're going to leave a dislike, please leave a comment as to why. That way I can review what you didn't like about the video, and then I can possibly change any necessary parts in further videos. Thank you. And finally, have you written a creepypasta story you would like me to narrate? Have you had any cryptid sightings, paranormal or supernatural encounters? You can submit your stories and encounters to cryptidsroost@gmail.com. And if you wish to remain anonymous, that's fine with me. All links are listed below. So grab your coffee, sit back and enjoy the show. And don't forget, where fear is, happiness is not. Kyle, Monster Hunter, Part 1. This fantastic story is written by Nomad65555, a wonderful author over on Reddit's Nosleep subreddit. Quick interjection, this is an update to the previous story from the same author. I hunt cryptids for a living, it's harder than you think. Hello all, it's been a while, and damn do I have a story for you. First off, I should tell you that I am indeed alive. Yes, your sexy monster hunter lived through his kidnapping despite my best efforts to the contrary. So let's start filling you all in. First, I should start with what happened on the night of my disappearance. I understand Javier posted my last entry, even though it was unfinished. Anyway, after I heard the heavy thumping, scratching footsteps working their way along my hallway, I got up to check it out, taking my large hunting knife with me. Now, I guarantee I looked absolutely retarded, emerging dramatically from my room in a fucking union suit, with my hair messy and my beard in dire need of some oil, holding a knife the size of my head. So I walked out of my room and immediately saw the source of the noise. There were a set of glowing yellow eyes at the end of my hallway. I quickly reached out to my right and flicked the light switch. The light turned into revealing the beast at the end of my hall. It was the skinwalker. She came for me. I couldn't fucking believe it. Here was this fucking deformed wolf-looking ass at the end of my hallway. Now at this point, the song playing through my Bluetooth speaker in my room switched to Country Squire by Tyler Childers. Perfect fighting music. You might want to listen to it before you read the next part so you understand how amazing this shit was. The skinwalker spoke. Kyle, I have come. It is time for your demise. Come quickly, and I will make it quick. You refuse to listen to my demands. Will you come willingly, or will I have to rip off a few limbs? I replied, pretending to stroke my beard thoughtfully. I'm going to go with option C. Fuck you and your demands. This obviously pissed her off, and she snarled while saying, So be it then, acting all macho and shit. Let's go, bitch, I promptly replied. She bolted towards me and lunged. I kicked her in the face, sending her sprawling. I was in need to let out some anger, so I let her get back up so I could fight her some more. She got to her feet quickly. She turned and growled at me again, and ran at me again. I thought she was going to lunge at me again, but I was mistaken, and she ploughed right through my legs. I landed flat on my back and had the air forced from my lungs. She padded over and stood looking down at me. Without hesitation, I snapped upwards. The knife impaled her chest and she scampered back whimpering and growled in pain. I rolled over and got back to my feet. She heeled around the knife, which meant I wasn't going to get it back without killing her. I charged her and tackled her. Once I was on top of her, I started punching. Blood ran down her face and pooled onto the floor, coating her black fur. I attempted to strangle her, but after a few seconds of her kicking, her foot connected with my chest and sent me flying across the hallway. I hit the wall on the other end, cracking the drywall. I fell to the floor and lay there, stunned for a few seconds. She walked back up to me and raked her claws down my face, from my hairline, over my left eye and down to my jawbone, leaving 4 large gashes and making my left eye useless. She then bit me in the foot and started to drag me away. I was in shock. I couldn't fight back. Hell, I couldn't even scream. I blacked out somewhere along the way, and I woke up sometime later to the skinwalker standing over me, glaring down at me. I could only see out of my right eye. My face was sticky with what I assumed was dry blood. There was a searing pain in my right foot, which I took as I wouldn't be walking out of here. The skinwalker was now back in human form. She was treating my facial wounds. I assumed she was trying to treat the infection. I tried to pull away, but only fell over on the dirty shack floor. I tried to crawl away, feebly. She grabbed me by the remaining scraps of my union suit and dragged me back through onto the chair. I didn't try to get any more after that. After many days passed, at least 6 or 7, I'm not quite sure. After this time had passed, there was a commotion one night. I heard a loud roar, like that of a fucking dinosaur. It kind of felt like I was in Jurassic Park for a second. Then a black shape crashed through the ceiling of my shack. It was the skinwalker. She was trapped. She was trapped under a beam now. I began calling for help, and after a second or two, I heard Javier's voice. "Hey, I found him! Over here! Hurry!" Suddenly, I saw the short Mexican man's frame in the doorway. "You fucking jackass, Kyle. I had to break out of maximum security prison to save your ass," he said to me while chuckling. I let out a weak chuckle and tried to get up, failed, and hit the ground hard. Suddenly, I saw 2 other faces in the doorway. One was my red-haired boss, Jerry. The other was Miguel. They had come for me. Jerry and Javier helped me up. They each supported me on one side and helped me to Javier's truck. Once there, Jerry spoke. "Kyle, you've been put on leave from this point until this time next month. I'll clean this up. Javier, get him home, please." "Now, hang on a fucking minute. I'm ending the bitch that tried to kill me. Give me a gun," I said. After a second, Jerry replied. "Fair enough. Here." He tossed me the shotgun that was strapped to his shoulder. I walked back to the shack with help from Javier and Jerry, and found the skinwalker still trapped. I aimed the shotgun at her head and spoke. "What say you in defense?" I asked. "Fuck you. Just because you kill me doesn't mean you win. You know that, right? My death means nothing. Nothing. We will win. We will win the war. You will be betrayed by one of your own. You will die. We will always win, Kyle." "I'm not convinced," I replied, and pulled the trigger, blowing her head off. I went to thank Miguel. After I did so, I went to the back of the truck, but heard a commotion behind me. I turned and saw Jerry holding his pistol to Miguel's head. Miguel was unable to escape Jerry's iron grip. "Jerry, what the hell are you doing? Let him go. He saved my ass," I screamed at Jerry. "While you were gone, Kyle, I instated a kill-on-sight clause for all cryptids. I'm following protocol. Stay out of it." He pushed Miguel away, and Miguel turned to look at me with a betrayed look on his face. Then the shot rang out. Blood splattered the front of Miguel's torso and on me. He fell to the ground and lay there unmoving. I tried to run to him, but ended up stumbling there. I sat by his side, crying. I heard the sound of Javier punching Jerry, but I didn't care. My boss had just shot the creature that had saved my life. Miguel didn't deserve to die. It was that moment that I decided I would no longer be loyal to Cryptids. Javier ended up beating the shit out of Jerry. Jerry just said that he deserved it, and Javier took me home. I got home and passed out on my bed, not even bothering to take off my bloody dirty clothes. This was a month ago. I'm scheduled to take my first return call tonight. We'll see what happens. This is Carl Reitinger, signing off. Kyle, The End, Part 2. Hello all. It's been quite a while since my last update, and I do apologise for that. My life has actually been going fairly well, until about an hour ago anyway. Since we last spoke, I've gotten a girlfriend. You didn't think I could do it, did you? I began taking online spelling and grammar classes. Yes, I saw your comments. Fuck off, okay? I adopted a Rottweiler and gotten a day job, along with submitting my 2-week notice to Jerry. Well, here we go. This will be my last entry, ever. I'm done with everything. I met Rachel back in October. She worked with me at Sheets, my day job. We hit it off well, and soon we were exchanging phone numbers. Soon after, we began dating, and now she's gone. Gone for good. She's never coming back. She can't come back. I guess I should start from the beginning for this to make sense. Today, Rachel and I invited Javier over for dinner. He showed up around 5. Rachel and I began preparing dinner around 6. I grilled some chicken, she sautéed the vegetables, and we sat down to eat around 7. Finished around 7:30 and cracked open some beers and a bottle of wine. We fucked around and hung out until about 9. Javier was putting on his coat when there came a massive thump at the door, rattling it on the hinges. Rachel screamed, dropping a wine glass, shattering it. Javier and I drew our guns and trained them on the door. Rachel, go to my room and lock the door, I said softly as another massive thump came. The door was beginning to crack. Go! She ran back to my room, heard the door latch and lock. Another thump and a massive crunch as the door broke off the hinges. A massive 7-foot-tall Jerry walked in, sawed-off shotgun levelled at Javier. What the fuck are you doing? Is all Javier was able to say before the gun went off. Javier fell to his knees, clutching his stomach. Jerry levelled the gun to his head and looked at me, my gun still raised. Put the gun down, Kyle. You sick bastard, I'll fucking kill you. I pulled the hammer back on my revolver. Jerry raised an eyebrow and cocked the shotgun for the second shot. Put it down, or I'll blow his head off. Defeated, I dropped my gun and dropped to my knees. Kyle, you have 2 options. Die, or continue your position in my company. Fuck you. Guess you've chosen. Then I heard a scream, loud and animalistic. I turned and saw Rachel running at Jerry with my Bowie knife raised. He turned, raised his gun and fired. Rachel fell to the ground, a gaping hole in her chest. The shot killed her instantly. Before he could turn back around, I picked up my gun, shot him in the back 3 times, then ran up, kicked him in the back of the head and shot him in the head, killing him. I ran to Javier, knowing Rachel was already gone, and checked his pulse. He was still alive, but fading fast. I tried to put pressure on the wound, but it didn't help. He stared at me with glossed over eyes as a trail of blood ran from the corner of his mouth, and the pool of blood he was laying in grew in size. I sat next to him, defeated, knowing he was gone. I'm sorry, my friend. My voice was somber. Now, as I sit in my living room with my best friend, my girlfriend, and my ex-boss, all dead around me, and my gun lying on the table next to me, reloaded with one more shot, the shot that will take my life as I write this. As soon as I post this, I will end my own life. I just thought my community would like some closure. Thank you everyone for your support. This is Carl Reitinger, signing off for the last time.